Welcome back, Swathers!
And today is our second official episode for SNL.
And we are going to be talking about the new staff at Hesston High School. And yes, it's not a Saturday night again, but today it's a Thursday afternoon.
Yes.
Yay!
Starting off strong is our new principal, Mr. Liker.
Our new biology teacher, Mr. Lehman.
Our new English junior teacher, Ms. Powles.
Our new choir teacher, Dr. Garber.
Our new business essentials teacher, Mrs. George.
Our new world history teacher, Mr. Bradbury.
And our new geometry teacher, Mr. Stamper.
In this episode, we will be interviewing them about what they did in high school, so how it can relate to us. And then we will have a special guest at the end of this podcast.
Yes.
High five me, Kyiara. Yeah. So, welcome back.
The milkman, the paper boy, the evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, everywhere you face, there's a face, somebody who needs a heart. Everywhere you look, yeah. When you're lost down there and you're all alone, a light is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, la 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 la.
First up is Mr. Liker.
Hello, I'm here with,
Mr. Liker.
and we're talking about his favorite activities he did in high school. What are some activities you did in high school?
I played football, basketball, and golf, all for 4 years.
Which one was your favorite?
Football and golf were my favorite, definitely.
Did you participate in any clubs?
My high school had a few clubs. I was part of Stuco and K's.
And why did you choose to do those?
Basically, those were the options.
Okay, thank you.
Next up is Mr. Lehman.
Who am I here with?
Jake Lehman.
What sports did you do in high school?
Did a lot of sports, swimming, a little bit of wrestling, tennis, cross country, track, some b-ball, volleyball, probably some I missed in there.
Which one was your favorite?
The one I was doing at the time, I liked all of them.
What clubs and other activities did you do in high school?
We got a chess club going. There was a guy I knew that was really good, and he got me on board with that. So we got the chess club going. Played some other high schools through the years. And I wasn't in drama club, but I knew a bunch of people in there, so I did some stuff with them. There was a couple other clubs. Didn't necessarily have to be in the club to actually be involved with the people that were doing it and participate in some things.
And why did you choose to do those?
The club stuff?
Yeah.
Social's a big deal for high school kids. So,
Okay, thank you.
Next up is Miss Powles.
I'm here with.
Miss Powles.
What were some of your favorite activities you did in high school?
So I was kind of a nerd. So I did Scholars Bowl, and then we had like a volunteer group, and so I did that as well. And then also we had a club. It was called Internationals, and we basically traveled and ate at a lot of different restaurants and like had some really good food and visited some museums. So that was pretty fun.
What would you say was your favorite?
Of those three, probably Internationals. Because
Why?
you got to go to different restaurants and eat food. I mean, that was fun. Was it educational? Sort of, but more than anything, it gave me time to hang out with friends and travel to different places. So,
Okay, thank you.
And here is Dr. Garber.
Who am I here with?
I'm Joel Garber.
What activities did you do in high school?
I did football a year, tennis a year. I was in academic decathlon. I was in singers. I was in chorale and musical.
And what was your favorite?
Probably singers, just because I'm very musically driven.
What clubs did you do in high school?
Clubs. Well, actually, academic decathlon was a club at the time, and that was basically because they needed someone with more music knowledge on it to serve, and that's what got me there. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
It showed and deepened my historical music knowledge, and got me to get out and be a part of a team with all the other subjects.
Okay, thank you.
After that is Miss George.
Who am I here with?
Mrs. George.
What were some of your favorite activities you did in high school?
I was part of Hesston High Singers, and then also volleyball and basketball and track for a year or two.
What was your favorite activity?
Probably volleyball.
Were you in any clubs?
I would have been in FCA, and I can't remember if I was in any others.
And why'd you do FCA?
Because I am a believer and I'm an athlete, and so I thought those were a great mix.
Okay, thank you.
And then Mr. Bradbury.
Who am I here with?
Gentry, Bradbury.
What were some activities you did in high school?
I played baseball, played a year of football, a couple years of basketball, and ran cross country for a year.
What was your favorite?
Baseball, by far.
Why?
I just loved the sport, loved working at it, and then got to go play college ball. So, yeah, baseball's my favorite by far.
What were some clubs you did at school?
The only club I was in was FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
And why did you do that?
Well, I was born and raised Christian, and I was an athlete, so felt like I should probably take part in it.
Okay, thank you.
And last but not least, Mr. Stamper.
Who am I here with?
Mr. Stamper.
What kind of sports did you do in high school?
I actually lettered in high school in football, track, wrestling, and baseball.
What was your favorite?
Probably football, and then track.
Did you do any clubs in high school?
I was part of the art club, I was part of the theater club, the music club, and I also did a little bit of the Scholars Club.
And why did you do those?
I like to get involved with everything in school. I think a big part of high school, besides just learning reading and writing and arithmetic, is also the social interaction. Getting to know the people with you and learning a whole bunch of other stuff, not just the textbooks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and there's all our teachers. Now we are going to our special guest to talk about more about her high school experience. Kyiara? I'm kidding. We
We're
don't
not
clap.
doing
That's
that.
stupid. If you clapped in a podcast, yeah. It's not going to look good. Thank you.
Anyways, our new guest is,
Drum roll.
drumroll please, Miss Powell.
Miss Powell's, yay. Welcome back. Now we're here with Mrs. Powell's. Miss Powell's. I did it, gosh. Miss Powell's. And we're going to be asking her some questions. Ain't that right, Kyiara?
Yes.
Yeah. What was your favorite subject in high school and why?
I know you're expecting me to say English, but it was actually history. And I really liked history because I thought it was more exciting. And I liked stories, and sometimes the stories we read in English just were not as entertaining or interesting as, like, real life. I mean,
I've been there.
yeah, it's true. Everyone deals with it. So.
Okay, second question. Do you have a favorite teacher, and how did they influence you?
Her name was Mrs. Weldon.
Shout out to
And-
Mrs. Weldon.
Yeah, I have two favorites. I'm going to pick one, Mrs. Weldon, because I think everyone expects me to say the English teacher. She was my biology teacher, and she was really great, and she was always friendly and positive, and I saw her angry once, and she let me make an entire cell diagram out of candy for like a project, and said it was like her best project ever, and then hung the candy on her wall until the candy like
got all dry and crispy and fell off. It was there for like 6 years. I went and checked like 2 years ago.
Oh.
Anyway, but she was great, and she always had a good attitude, and she genuinely loved every single one of her students, and I wish I could be more like that as a teacher. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I do genuinely love all my students, but probably doesn't show every day.
Yeah. What was the most challenging part of
High school.
What was the most challenging part of high school, and how did you overcome it?
I had a really close family. Not that that was a challenging part of high school, but I also spent a lot of time with them. So I had a lot of family responsibilities. And because of that, I chose not to be an athlete. And because of that, I didn't get to see my friends who were also athletes. And that was very challenging because it meant that when I went home after school to like actually do stuff with my family, they were in practice hanging out with each other. And I just would not recommend that. Like, find a sport that you can do, or at least some sort of after-school activity that your friends are also doing, because that was tough. That was really tough. So,
Fourth question, do you still keep in touch with your old classmates?
Not really. It's been a while. And I did it first, and I actually saw one of them the other day at the Hesston cross-country meet, because her now husband coaches for another school, and it was very awkward. And so some of them know, but I also went to a wedding of another friend, and she and I are like social media friends, you know, like the ones that'll wish you happy birthday, and that if you were to meet up and see them, it would be fine and all, but we're not close.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. If you could go back to high school, would you do anything differently?
I would join cross country.
And why?
Because I was already a runner, except I didn't do it the right way, and so I like severely damaged both of my knees. And I did it without like ever actually running with friends. So I basically just chose to suffer without companionship or like enjoying it at all. And so while they're all out running 6 miles with each other, I was doing it like by myself and in pain.
With bad knees.
With bad knees. And now I blame bad knees on the fact that I was running alone and not with people. So, yeah.
All right, sixth question. How did your high school experience shape your decision to become a teacher?
My other favorite teacher, who I didn't mention earlier, Mrs. Stevenson, she was my English teacher, and she made me do a career project where I had to write a whole paper about a career that I thought I would enjoy, and I didn't want to do it because it was a long paper. And so I chose veterinarian because I thought I wanted to work with animals. And then throughout the project, she was like, you know, you have to like perform surgeries on animals and stuff. And I was like, that seems excessive. So she made me like look up pictures and videos and stuff and like do all of the research. And at the end of the project, I said, I never want to do this in my life. And so she was like, well, what do you actually want to do? And I said, well, I think I want to be like you. And she goes, okay, and then walked off. Like, I distinctly remember this conversation. Anyway, she just gave me all of her old teaching stuff because she moved to become an administrator, like, just this past year. So, like, half the stuff in my classroom is hers. So, yep.
Oh,
that's that.
Oh, is my question? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. What advice would you give to a student going through high school today? Join cross country.
Yeah. Take care of your knees. Actually, though, seriously, take care of your health. Like, when I was working with students last year, I had a student who broke like both of her wrists, and when she came back from the surgery, she was like, so the doctor told me I'll have to be doing therapy for these wrists for quite a while in order to get them to like full mobility again. And she says, but I'm not going to do it. And I looked at her and I said, as someone with bad knees and lots of physical injuries that I sustained in high school, like, take care of your health. Like, genuinely go to therapy when doctors tell you to go to therapy, especially if you're an athlete, because you think that those things won't hit you until you're, like, 65, but sometimes they hit you when you're 25, and you wake up in the middle of the night with pain in, like, your body from an old injury. Yeah. So take care of those things now.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Powles.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool
Thank you.
beans. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Powell for coming. Tune into the 3rd episode that's hopefully coming out of SNL.
Okay, ready? 3, 2. Thanks for
watching. Swathers.
Swathers.
Ting. We could just like
Smile.
hold it here. No, we could just hold it.